Hey y'all, it's me. It's me, and I'm alone. I'll say this again. Tamika will not be with us for this season, so it'll just be me and my nasal voice. I forgot to say something last week because y'all know I'm crazy. I forgot to thank my listeners, my subscribers, and to ask you to keep listening and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell an old friend to tell a new friend that they need to just tune in. Um, I'm going to ask you one thing though. Did you see what I saw? Now, uh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the entire 30 if I'm going to go over 30. But I'm thinking I won't because of what I saw and what I didn't see. I took notes. But I didn't take many because it wasn't much to say. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of go off the top of my head and talk about observations that I made. The very first thing I noticed before it became apparent was that Jordan was not on the episode. I understand why in part. And I just skipped a whole chunk of what I'm going to talk about today, but I'll get back to it. I understand why in part Robin said that it would not be a good look if she was gallivanting around with her new boyfriend and her husband to be is in intensive care. Okay, so I feel two ways about that. Yes, he had a point, number one. But number two, Robin, what you up to? Now, anybody that's listening to this knows that I've been asking for Robin to come back and for Paul to come back for eons, like for at least a year or two. I've been begging for them to come back. Robin has come back. I missed him tremendously, but now he's back. It's like this. It's like having an ex. You see him, you want to get back with them. You've gotten back with him. And now you're looking at him like, okay, that's why we broke up in the first place. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Robin. Robin he's calculating, and he's going to be calculating because he's an attorney. So he's going to be. You have to be. It's part of the game. It's part of your game face. You have to have that on there. But anyway, so let's go back. I was excited for the first scene because when I tell you last week, I was bubbling over after Robin came busting through that door. I was bubbling over for the rest of the day. Tamika still ain't watched it. Still haven't watched it. Last week was her anniversary, so she was doing her celebration thing. As of yesterday, she still has not watched the first episode of this season. But anyway, moving on. So Andi was getting ready to spill the beans to the detective. I don't know if she felt weak because she was sitting there, but she's an attorney, so you would think that she would know better. But like Robin said, like a poor doctor to himself, however he put it. Same thing with a lawyer. Same thing with a therapist. And I'm not talking about me. My mom was also a therapist, but she was not approachable. Like, you've been treating clients all day, and you got a client that lives right across the hall from you, so I get that. But anyway, so Robin's in there. He saved the day. You know, he got on his cape. We're happy to see him. He whisked her out of there. But it was like, I just kind of felt a disconnection at first. Yes, she was happy to see him, but then a part of her was like, okay, what you doing here? How you find out? Robin finds out everything. That's just his character. He finds out everything. He's kind of like a higher up. I forgot how closely affiliated he is with the law firm. It just got away from me because we don't see him and we don't hear talk of him. So now he's back. They're at her place. He's making tea. He knows his way around and all this good stuff. So now I'm not really feeling anything about her at first, but I'm feeling like he might be trying to get that old thing back. Let me just put it out there. He might be trying to get that old thing back. So now she's not even grieving for Gary. Like, she's not. That's not where she's going. Gary has really just turned her life upside down. Now, she supposedly loves Jordan, but I don't feel the chemistry. And it's not because, and I know y'all like, girl, get over it. It's not because they got him in place of the other Jordan with the muscles and with him. No offense to this new Jordan, but seriously, it'll look differently if he was in the picture. But anyway, Jordan, this new Jordan, yes, he comes across as being weak. I don't know if they changed up he comes across as being weak. Let me just put it that way. But anyway, so Andi begins to feel like he might be trying to go in a different direction with things. And it's just the look on his face. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't still miss him. However, I remember what kind of, was pulling me away from him. And here he comes again. He says things that make sense. Yes, he does. He's a rational thinker. But then again, you have to go back to how calculating his mind is. Go all the way back to when they first started talking and he wanted to hook up with Andi, but she was reluctant. I guess her and Gary were going through what they were going through and they were on the outs. So she ended up going back to the not apartment, hotel, and they did what they did. They did what they did, but it was a threesome. So I say this to say, to each his own, but I say this to say that he was calculating. He had a plan in place and she played right into it. That's the type of man that he is. But anyway, so moving on, the girls show up and he's there. They're shocked. First of all, stop being so surprised because somebody got a life in different parts of their lives that don't belong to you and your friendship. Always shocked. It was, even though I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm glad that he's here for now. As long as he don't keep on trying to lean towards where he's going, because I know that he's already vetted Jordan. I already know that he's looking at him like, okay, go lay down. I'm already knowing that that's where he is because that's the type of person that Robin is. So Andi, I felt like a little spark for a second when she was like, "You're my ex." It kind of took me back a little bit. This whole episode, I'm not bipolar, y'all. I might be passive aggressive just a little bit, but this episode made me feel like I was bipolar. If I should ever know how that might feel, but yeah. So we'll see what Robin's up to. I'm interested in knowing how long he's going to be in the show in this season. What's his interaction going to be with Jordan? Just think, two light skins, like I'm not prejudiced for real, but two light skins. This is going to be very interesting, and I can see Jordan just being even more weak than his character is now with Robin standing over him. So these two light skins are gonna see how that works out. But no, there's no. Trust me, Robin has done he's done his work. He knows everything, and because he cares about Andi the way that he does, calculating and all, he's always going to know what's going on because this is what he does. He's interested the way that he's interested. Put it that way. I think I've said enough about Robin. Y'all just pray for me and his relationship because I know you're like, okay, last week you were so excited. I'm still excited, but he brought that feeling back, that little dis-ease. He kind of brought that back, so we'll see. But anyway, so moving on, let's go to Zac and Fatima. I have not watched the new season. If I'm not mistaken, it's on episode 7 or 8. But I haven't watched it. Eventually I will, but the season will probably be over by the time I watch it. I was going to commentate on it, but it's like this. I really don't have the time or the patience, really. But for the most part, I really don't have the time to just dedicate it to even watching that. But the previews look just so exhausting. I don't have it. I'll get to it. But anyway, so I said that because seeing them together in front of the suspect board just made me get into that Zatima feeling. Okay, so they're both kind of like going back and forth, Zac and Fatima, about how they didn't do it. Okay, if y'all didn't do it, let's just don't talk about it. But this suspect board, they just turning into some little Nancy Drews and the Hardy boys. Because what are they even doing? Is that part of the storyline? They could have left that out. They could have left that out. They have lives, but I guess the lives are kind of interrupted because Zac really, for real, don't really have a life. His storyline is with Karen and this other girl, Heather. and, these babies or whatever. But anyway, so they got him doing this. Fatima's her role is going to slow down just a little bit as Andi goes through what she goes through. Yes, she'll pull her back in because she got to tell her about Robin. Yes, she'll pull her back in because she has to talk about Gary. Now, you got to remember, Fatima has her antennas up about Gary. Now, I don't like how they played this game like Gary was dead. Okay, they do play games like that, but that just kind of pissed me off. And I was looking at Robin, the way he was kind of looking at Andi when they spoke about it, when they were still in the office, the interrogation room. It was like an eye that he gave her. And I know y'all like, okay, you're going too deep. Deep is what I do. Okay. But anyway, so Gary's he's still alive. His partner, whatever he is I can't, it's something about him that's given very much addicted to drugs. Just his whole, and then I hate when people do this. Doctor, do everything you can to save him. When have we ever been in a position where it's like, okay, doctor, just do the bare minimum so they can punch out? Just stop it. Just the look on his face. What is his game? Why is he there? What is his name? I want to call him Hudson, but I don't know that. Because that's how insignificant he is. But I guess Gary needs somebody. He needs a fan. He certainly haven't had any friends or family members to show up. And that's another interesting thing. The last family he had was the wife who he ruined. But anyway, so Gary, they're probably going to keep him in the hospital until the end of the season. Then maybe he'll get up and be able to talk about who did that to him. Because this is going to get tiring for everybody, I believe, with this whodunit situation, like Clue, if you're familiar with the game, or Dallas. And I really took it back because some of y'all probably not as old as I am. But if you go back to Who Shot JR, this is that kind of thing. And it's kind of, it could have been better written. It could have been written better. But anyway, so moving on, let's go to Sabrina. Sabrina's so sweet, unsuspecting, doughy-eyed. Her and Richard, they're still, still doing their thing. Richard is trying to be more supportive. And I think what woke him up was when the other guy came in who was willing to donate his, what. I think that really made him look at the whole situation differently. Like, look, I'm at risk of losing my girl. I forgot where it landed in the last season about her and them saving her eggs. However, I forgot about that. So today when I was watching it, I was like, okay, now who is she pregnant by? My crazy self. I'm thinking that when he came in the room and the other guy was in there and he was like, don't do it or whatever. My crazy, but I'm thinking that they did it. I was off. But anyway, so he's still adamant about doing it. Now she has to wait for 2 weeks. So you better believe that something is going to happen to break that up. Maybe the new guy, I don't know if his name was Damani or something like that, but maybe he'll show back up and cause a rift in their relationship because she's already looking like at Richard, like she was saying, well, before you didn't even want this and now you want it. So he's like, well, being with you has changed it and blah, blah, blah. I still think, okay, yes, he cares about her, but I'm leaning more towards he doesn't want to lose her to this other guy. But moving on, it was kind of cute when they were canoodling on the couch. That was kind of cute. But then I was thinking about Danny and Tony. Tony had a point. And Danny didn't want to be a part of her deflection by sleeping with her. And it was just, that to me was like it would have been like a cigarette in a way for her. I need this right now. I need to cool down. I need to breathe. I need a cigarette. And he would have been her cigarette. And so I'm glad that he didn't move forward with that. Now he did. I didn't like the fact that he threw the therapist in there. I get it. But she believes that he overstepped. If it wasn't for him, she would have never even known the therapist. Like he was the one that felt, listen. But anyway, so I get it why he did that. I understand why she wanted that. But anyway, I think that they're going to maybe continue to be in a pretty good place. He, to me, he's changed her. She's very grounded with him. She's a different Danny with him. And, we all love it. But I think that they are, because at first I was like, okay, I'm looking at him sideways, but it looks like they are on a good path. So we'll see about them. I think that black dress she had on, she looked very nice in it. I'm still celebrating that they are not having her to wear that the work uniform all the time. All the time. Even when they used to go out, she would wear it, but she just wouldn't have a jacket on all the time. So I'm glad that they softened her up, and I say that all the time. But anyway, let's move to, okay, Hayden. What is Hayden up to? I hope he's up to something, because if he's not, he'd look like a real fool in this episode. Having Tamira. Now, last week I didn't know who Tamira was when she came there with that dress on. She just looked like she might have gained a little bit of weight, but she looked a little different. She did. And the dress, by the way, I put it in my notes. That's a dress that I would have worn back when I was in my heyday. Right now, no, I got more rolls than I should, but that was definitely my style. But anyway, moving on. So she comes in. She's saying that she faked it, the video that she made with her and Gary. Perhaps. Hayden he was on his way out the door. He was on his way out the door. They're trying to make it seem like they're not telling each other secrets, like they both had something to do with this. I think they're just trying to throw us off the trail. I think that by him trying to send Hayden away, that's just throw us off the trail. Hayden didn't do it. He didn't do it. I still believe that Marie Wallace did it. Either she did it or she had somebody to do it. Or Penelope. Where's Penelope? Nobody said anything about Penelope. No, nobody's really said anything about her. They haven't called her in. She's not sitting at the table answering questions. So we'll see about that. I don't know. And then this dodo bird, Hayden was doing okay. He was standing his ground. He was standing up for himself. But the minute she got on her knees and started praying, the look on his face, come on now. Come on, go on to the airport or wherever you was going to leave this girl alone. But they done what they did. She's back in. I don't know why she's back in, because she is always saying that she got her own money. She's always saying that she has her own money. So why is she back there? What does she have to gain? Anyway, moving on. Let's hold Hayden up in prayer, because even though Hayden is a dirty dog and he's done what he's done, maybe it's just one of those days where I just don't hate him like I used to. I think that, yeah, but it was funny when Fatima slapped him in the face. I don't know if it's she didn't slap him in the face so much as she popped him on his jaw. That's kind of like one of those. It wasn't like a hard back, pull it all the way back, and then bam, smack him. It was kind of like she just hit him on the face. I don't know if that's next episode in the previews or if that was this episode. But moving on, I don't know what's going to happen to him in the company. Maybe he will get a leg up because everything is going on with Andi. Maybe. But then you have Robin there to put his foot on his neck. And it's kind of weird because Hayden has never liked Andi. Like, he's never been interested in Andi. So it's kind of weird for Robin, who I believe is going to come in and put his foot on Hayden's neck. Let's go to Sabrina. I'm sorry, not Sabrina, Karen. Karen, who looks like she's 5 months pregnant with one child. She hasn't grown any. She's still pregnant. I believe that this is the last season before her. She's going to have this baby in the season, just like we're going to find out who tried to kill Gary at the end of this season. Now, they better not have, well, you know what? Let me just stop it right now. Gary, they may not find out to the very end. You know how they take the little break in there, the little intermission in between the first half of the season and the second. I hope they don't go all the way to the end. I hope they don't. I was so close to not watching this season. I was so close to the door that I could taste the wood. I was like that close to the door because, come on, do better. But anyway, so I hope they don't have her to have the baby and him to be able to communicate by the end of the second half of season 8. Because I'm going to become a mystery, y'all. Y'all going to be looking for me because no, please don't do that. Please don't do it. But anyway, so Karen, how did Karen and form this alliance? How did they form this alliance? So now they're business partners and rubbing elbows and almost canoodling. How did they get to that place? Maybe I missed something. Somebody put it down in the comments, but I want to know how they got to that place where they were just like buds. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Pam is still being a very, I guess, good friend. I think she's still kind of like being a very good friend. Her outfit was really cute. She was rocking it. Um, there was nothing said about Aaron. Not really anything about Zac and connection with these two babies that are still baking. Still baking. But anyway, I'm trying to see if there's anybody that I missed. I don't know, guys. Let me just take a peek at my notes because I totally just did this whole thing without any notes. Now, Robin, he was trying to get Andi to not even confess, but just to tell him what's going on. She's not telling him because it's an emotional question. Yes, he's being, he's acting as a lawyer, but it's an emotional question for him to say, okay, what happened? Gary, he called Gary the love of her life. He's doing his job, but he's playing two positions. It's a dual position. You're her lawyer. You're also her ex, trying to be her next. I'll just put it that way. Okay, I'm just looking over my notes. The things that I've spoken about, I've already... Oh, another thing, and I think I said this last week. Will they please stop saying that Gary was stabbed in the heart? He was not stabbed in the heart. He was stabbed in the shoulder. Of course, that's going to cause some complications in the heart, but just stop saying that he was stabbed in the heart because he was not. He was not. And so another thing to consider, and I just put on my detective hat, the position that Gary was in. She found Gary laying flat on his back it just kind of gives that whoever stabbed him probably stabbed him from the back because of the position of where the knife landed. I know y'all like, okay, listen here, Nancy. But it just kind of gives that illusion. And the reason I say that is to say that whoever did it was somebody that was behind him. So he was already in that little dressing room or whatever it was, away from the ceremony. We saw the 30 ladies outside. So there's no way that they could have gotten in. They all came in together. Okay, all of the sisters came in together, so they're out. I don't think any of them did it anyway, but whoever did it, we're not going to suspect that they did it. But I still believe that it was Miss Wallace. Now, let me say this, and I could be reaching, but y'all remember this. Hold on to this. I know y'all like you dogging Robin. I'm not trying to dog him. I'm not trying to, but I'm being fair and still, harboring my secret love for him, but I'm being fair. What if he did it? Because he's back. He could have did that to try to get Andi back. I know y'all like, okay, that's far-fetched. Hey, it could be. But I'm sharing this information with you. Because what if he did that and he that's his way of getting back in? I even sound crazy saying it, but y'all remember me saying, bring Robin back. Look, he's back. We still just waiting for Fatima to call Paul. But anyway, so I think I covered everything. I would hate it if I didn't. But I really think that they're reaching with this Zac and Fatima thing and this suspect board. They could keep that. I think that is all. I didn't even go off on my notes today. I just kind of flew off the hip. But anyway, so guys, as I stated before, I need you guys to get more active. Reach out and touch. Subscribe, pull in some of your friends and these viewers, and let's just keep this thing moving right along. I want to say this because I don't say it. I don't think I've ever said it. But I really enjoy doing this podcast. I got a lot of things on my plate, but this is one of my favorite things to do as far as business. This doesn't feel like business, but it's part of my business. And I just want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for participating. I will be back. Now I might watch Fatima, maybe, and I might throw a little bit of it in here. But in the meantime, you guys, I'll be back next week. Bye.